I'm not someone who gets scared easily. Horror games and movies don't really frighten me. But a game I played recently scared me so much that I have to talk about it. The game is called Mouthwashing. It's packed with horror elements and disturbing content. Don't worry, I won't give away any major spoilers. In the game, you experience the fate of a crew stranded on a spaceship, and the story is utterly depressing. It's impossible not to be affected. The game has plenty of elements designed to terrify you. For example, this horse sequence and these pill-feeding scenes are equally unsettling. But none of that is what got to me. The part that scared me the most was this one sequence. You fall into a dark pit. After walking for a bit, you realize it's a planet, and since there is no atmosphere, you can see the entirety of space clearly. As you progress, you encounter some objects and writings. So far, nothing too alarming. But at one point, a deeply unsettling sound in the background intensifies. You keep walking, and the sound grows louder and louder. Then a gigantic sun rises, and everything turns white. That moment genuinely gave me chills. It was the most nerve-wracking part of the game for me. This might sound strange to you, after all there are far scarier parts of the game. Let me explain why this was the sequence that terrified me the most. Space has always been a terrifying concept to me. Massive planets, black holes, stars, and the vast emptiness of space. An infinite dark void stretching for billions of miles. For some reason, that deeply unsettles me. It's called Cosmophobia, astrophobia, or space phobia. It's a feeling I can't quite put into words. On one hand, it scares me. On the other, I'm drawn to its grandeur. Some games manage to deliver this experience in the most striking ways. I have seen much scarier things than the sequence in Mouthwashing. It's not even that intense, but I think I know why it had such an impact on me. Not long before playing Mouthwashing, I watched a movie called Melancholia. Heads up, there are spoilers ahead. In the movie, a Jupiter-sized planet is on a collision course with Earth. It's slowly approaching from a great distance, growing larger in the sky with each passing day. Eventually, it collides with Earth, the end of the world. Lars von Trier crafted those scenes so brilliantly that I felt immense tension while watching. The slow approach of the planet, its near miss the first time, and the certainty of impact the second time, combined with the unsettling sound as it drew closer and the helplessness of the characters, it was masterfully done. The film left a lasting impression on me. Experiencing a similar sequence in Mouthwashing shortly after watching Melancholia probably heightened its impact on me. But don't think of Mouthwashing as just the way I have described it. The part I mentioned is only a small fraction of the game. Its main story is completely different. If you haven't played it yet, I recommend it. Anyway, let's get back to the fear of space. I'd like to talk about another game that let me experience this fear. In fact, this game features the entire universe. I'm not joking, you can literally explore the whole universe in this game. And no, I'm not talking about No Man's Sky. The game I'm referring to is Megaton Rainfall. You play as a super powerful superhero, saving Earth from aliens. But the most fascinating part of the game is that you can explore the entire universe. You can seamlessly approach and land on planets, stars, and even other galaxies without any cutscenes or loading screens. This isn't something you see often in games. In most games, approaching a planet triggers a cutscene or loading screen, and you can't land wherever you want. But in Megaton Rainfall, you can land on any part of any planet. Of course, this feature has its drawbacks. Most planets except Earth have relatively similar and empty surfaces. But even so, it's impressive for an 800 megabyte game. There were moments in this game when I was more terrified than I have ever been. For starters, the game is incredibly uncanny. Leaving a planet, exiting the solar system, and eventually the galaxy. It's all very unnerving. When I first left Earth for space, I was so scared I had to squint my eyes. I'm serious, and this was just playing on a monitor. I can't even imagine experiencing this game in VR. At first, I explored nearby planets and their moons. The game might be simple, but it does an incredible job with how it handles approaching planets. I can't describe how tense it made me. I'd go from planet to planet, torn between fear and awe. Approaching stars was also deeply unsettling. The screen starts to shake, creating the sensation of heat. It works surprisingly well, but I wish I could explore deeper layers when landing on stars or gas giants. But even without that, it's incredible. Sometimes I'd wander through a random star system in a galaxy. Other times I'd land on a planet and take in this view. If I saw something like this in real life, I think I'd die of a heart attack. As for the scariest moments in the game, it happened while I was exploring galaxies. I saw a dark object in the distance. I realized that this was what I'd been subconsciously searching for throughout the game. One of my greatest fears, a black hole. As I got closer, I felt a pit in my stomach. Falling into it gave me goosebumps again. It's a fear unlike any other, at least for me. Space is a massive dark void, and what other secrets it holds remains unknown, just like the oceans. Interestingly, Cosmophobia parallels another type of fear, Thalassophobia, the fear of the ocean or other large bodies of water. Both phobias share similar elements: fear of the unknown, fear of colossal objects, and fear of the abyss. Actually, there's a specific term for the fear of massive objects, megalophobia. And if you fear gigantic things underwater, there's a name for that too, megalohydrothalassophobia. And yes, that's the actual term. All these fears are not that different from one another, and their effects on me feel similar. The fear of being pulled toward a black hole and the fear of sinking into the depths of the ocean evoke nearly identical sensations for me. While Cosmophobia dominates, the other fears I've mentioned have managed to terrify me on numerous occasions. Even in non-horror games, diving into deep waters can unsettle me. Take the Assassin's Creed games for instance. The deeper I dive into the ocean, the more I feel that anxiety building inside me. Or look at Subnautica. Exploring a region and suddenly realizing I have plunged too deep can instantly turn the game into a horror game. Subnautica is not a horror game, it's a survival action adventure. But if you fear deep waters, the game naturally becomes terrifying. As you discover new creatures, you begin to wonder what else might be lurking on this alien planet. And then you encounter a massive Reaper Leviathan. The game instantly transforms into a horror show. And if you are outside your pod when it happens, the fear amplifies exponentially. However, at some point you craft something called Prawn Suit, which makes you incredibly overpowered. With it, you can overcome nearly everything. Even the Reapers don't scare you. And creatures like the Reefback Leviathan, which seemed terrifying at first, are later revealed to be harmless, losing their scare factor entirely. In Subnautica, the scariest moments are usually when you encounter these creatures for the first time. Over time, you get used to them and they lose their impact. Eventually, the focus shifts to the game's crafting mechanics, and the fear elements gradually fade away. Beyond the games I have mentioned, there are others that have successfully scared me. For example, Iron Lung. Set in a submarine on another planet, you are all alone, investigating and encountering massive sea creatures. Despite its short playtime, it managed to encapsulate many of the fears discussed in this video, Cosmophobia and Thalassophobia among them. It's a short little game but a fascinating one. Then there's Outer Wilds. The game involves exploring planets within a star system, and there are plenty of terrifying moments. For example, this tornado planet is very scary, or this planet with the sea creatures, or even losing control of your spaceship and drifting into the void of space can be very terrifying. And let's not forget falling into a black hole moments. However, in Outer Wilds, there is a catch. The planets, the stars, and the other celestial objects are very small. In fact, the planets are so tiny you can run around their entire surface in just minutes. This tiny scale dampened the game's sense of fear for me, which is understandable. Outer Wilds is not a horror game, it's a discovery-focused experience, and as a discovery game it's very good. I just can't help but wish there were more fear-inducing elements. Still, it's a game worth mentioning in this video. As for why I haven't talked much about No Man's Sky, for some reason it doesn't resonate with me as much. It doesn't feel majestic. Maybe it's because of its vibrant colors or the densely populated worlds, but it fails to evoke that sense of vast, empty space. It doesn't trigger my cosmophobia. Even black holes aren't frightening. In a video like this, you might have expected me to discuss No Man's Sky in more detail, but honestly, I can't say it's ever scared me much. Even Outer Wilds has frightened me more. Of course, No Man's Sky does have its eerie aspects, but it doesn't give me that haunting sense of isolation in an immense universe like Megaton Rainfall does. That's why No Man's Sky gets only this brief mention. Space, deep oceans, colossal creatures, and the mysteries of the unknown. These elements tap into our instinctive fear of what lies beyond our understanding. Video games provide a unique space to explore these fears, immersing us in scenarios that are both terrifying and mesmerizing. Whether it's the vast emptiness of the cosmos or the suffocating depths of the ocean, they remind us of how small we truly are in the grand scheme of things. And perhaps that's why they leave such a profound impact. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.